One day, the Fat Controller bought 2 diesels for a trial on his railway. One of the 2 will stay if they did a good job. The 2 diesels surveyed the shed. "It's time, 7101, we took this railway over," said one. "Be quiet, 199, said 7101. "It's their railway after all." "Not for long," persisted 199. "Our controller says steam engines spoil our image." "Of course we do," snapped Duck. "We show what frauds you are. Call yourself engines. If anything happens, you care nothing for your train and just moan for fitter." "Nothing ever happens to us," boasted 199. "We are reliable." Vulgar noises greeted this. "How rude," said 199. "You asked for it," growled 7101. "Now shut up." The next day, the Fat Controller came to see the 2 diesels. 199 and 7101. "There is a limited passenger train and a petrol train waiting at the harbour. 199, you'll take the tanker train, and 7101, you'll take the passenger train." So the 2 diesels got to work. Meanwhile, Henry was pulling a passenger train down the main line. But when he arrived at the station, he heard a loud bang. "Your injector is jammed wide open," said his driver. "We better cancel the train and go to the yard to get it mended." So Henry left the station feeling miserable. "I'm a failed engine," he moaned. "Lost my regulator. However, I got steam." He reached the signal box and stopped. Next to it stood Diesel 199 with his train of tankers. "Even worse," thought Henry. "Now old Reliable will laugh at me." The signalman came out. "For pity's sake, take Spam Can away. He has failed, the limited is behind, and all he does is wail for fitter." "Spam Can?" fumed 199. "Stow it, or I will take my tin opener to you," snapped the signalman. That made Diesel 199 subsilent. Henry backed down and coupled on the train and pulled it away. The limited rushed by with a roar. Henry chuckled. "Look, Spam Can, there's your little pal." 199 said nothing. He hoped 7101 did not notice. 7101 did not notice. He had troubles on his own. He was cross with his coaches. They seemed to be getting heavier. He roared at them, but it was no good. His injector failed. The brakes were already leaking on. He carried on until he came to a stand, growling, unable to move a wheel. "Well, did you hear what Signalman said? I thought they will be laughing at me," chuckled Henry. "Now the joke's on them." "Now we need to move 2 diesels," said his driver. "Do you think you can do it?" "Well, I'll try," said Henry with spirit. "Anyway, 7101 is better than Spam Can. We must not let the passengers waiting." "Get moving, you!" puffed Henry as he pulled the diesel into motion and started to the rescue. Henry gently buffered up to the express. While the 2 drivers talked, his fireman joined his front brake pipe to the coaches. "It's better than we thought, Henry," said his driver. "The diesel can pull while we keep the brakes off. So the only weight we have is with Spam Can's goods." So Henry pulled the 2 diesels to the big station. Donald and Flying Scotsman were waiting. They cheered as Henry puffed past. He braked the coaches thankfully, and Spam Can and the coaches trailed far behind. The passengers buzzed out like angry bees, but the Fat Controller told them about Henry, and they thanked him instead. They called him an enterprising engine and took his photograph. They were thrilled too when Flying Scotsman backed down onto his train. If the guard had not shooed them out, the train would have started later than ever. Donald took the goods. Return 199 to the other railway, ordered the Fat Controller. I will write my views later. Henry and 7101 went away together. I'm sorry about last night, mentioned the Diesel. That's alright, you did shut a reliable up and, said the Diesel ruefully, made a fool of myself today too. Rubbish, a failed injector can happen to anyone. I lost my regulator. You failed? Exclaimed the Diesel. Well, said Henry, trains must get through. 7101 said no more. He had a lot to think about.